The promise of a perfect smile costs more than most people realize, not just in money, but in enamel that can never be restored, in procedures that can never be undone, and in some cases, in years of chronic pain. Hollywood's most famous faces have been lining up for veneers for decades. Some results are brilliant, others are cautionary tales that no publicist can fully manage. These are 12 celebrities suffering from terrible veneers, and the before and after is more complicated than any before and after photo will ever show you. Number 12. Jojo Siwa, $50,000 and a smile that divided the internet. Jojo Siwa rose to fame as a child performer on the reality series Dance Moms before becoming a pop star with a dedicated fan base built around her trademark oversized bows, bold fashion, and relentlessly upbeat personality. Growing up in the public eye carries a specific kind of pressure. Every photograph is scrutinized, every red carpet appearance dissected. By the time she was in her late teens, that pressure had begun to focus on her teeth. In 2020, at the age of 16 or 17, still a teenager, Siwa visited Beverly Hills cosmetic dentist Dr. Kevin Sands and underwent a comprehensive veneer procedure covering both her top and bottom rows of teeth. The stated goal was to correct what the dentist described as an immature smile, with staining, unevenness, chipping, and discoloration that he felt should be addressed to create a more mature and symmetrical result. The transformation was dramatic. Siwa went from her natural, slightly uneven smile to a set of teeth that were uniformly white, perfectly aligned, and striking enough that the internet noticed immediately. For a time, she kept the procedure quiet. It was only during a 2023 live stream that she confirmed the change, joking that her teeth were so white because she had chosen the whitest shade available. Then, in March 2024, at the GLAAD Media Awards, a BuzzFeed reporter asked stars on the red carpet about the most expensive item they were wearing. Siwa's answer was immediate. She pointed to her mouth. "The veneers," she said, "cost $50,000. That candid moment went viral. Online reaction was sharply divided. Some praised her confidence and honesty. Others questioned whether a teenager with already presentable teeth should have undergone irreversible cosmetic work at that age. Dental professionals who commented publicly pointed out that veneers placed in the late teens require replacement every 10 to 15 years, meaning a person who gets them at 17 will need 2 to 3 complete sets across a lifetime, at comparable cost and risk each time. At the age of 20, Siwa has made clear she has no regrets. Whether that calculation holds across the decades that follow is a different question entirely. The next case involves someone who did not choose their procedure voluntarily. They were a teenager pushed into dentistry that would spend the next 2.5 years causing them daily physical pain. Number 11. Miley Cyrus, from Hannah Montana to porcelain. Miley Cyrus became a Disney Channel phenomenon in 2006 when Hannah Montana debuted and introduced her character to millions of children across the world. She was 13 years old. Photographs from that period show a young girl with a wide, open smile, gums prominently visible, teeth not perfectly aligned, and the entire look of someone who had not yet grown into her adult face. It was a completely natural smile for a teenager. As the show ran through its 4 seasons, Cyrus was fitted with lingual braces fixed to the back of the teeth to keep them invisible on camera, to gradually straighten her smile. This is a common approach for child performers who need orthodontic correction without visible hardware. By the time Cyrus transitioned out of her Disney Channel persona in the early 2000s, her teeth had been straightened, but they retained some of the gummy quality of her earlier smile, with minor gaps remaining. Cosmetic dental work followed. The most significant shift in her smile came in the years around 2011 to 2013, when veneers appear, based on visible photographic comparison, to have replaced her natural tooth surfaces with porcelain covers, producing a considerably brighter, more symmetrical, and more uniform look. What made the transformation noticeable and controversial in some dental commentary was the degree of change. Her adult natural teeth had, by most assessments, not been dramatically problematic. The veneers that followed were strikingly white and noticeably uniform, creating the appearance of teeth that had been redesigned rather than refined. Cyrus has never confirmed the specific details of her dental work in clinical terms. What photographic evidence from 2 decades of public life shows is a trajectory from a natural teenage smile to a set of professionally constructed teeth, and a question consistent across her transformation and those of several other celebrities in this list about what was genuinely necessary and what was driven by industry pressure applied to a young woman still developing her identity. Coming up next is a case where the pressure was external in a different way. A man whose natural teeth became so famous for their imperfections that he eventually spent considerable time and money trying to fix them. Number 10, Tom Cruise, the middle tooth that fascinated the world. Tom Cruise has been one of the most recognizable actors on the planet for more than 40 years. His face has appeared in hundreds of millions of photographs, on posters across every continent, in close-up film shots that leave nothing to the imagination of high-definition cameras, which is part of why his teeth, for so long, became an unlikely subject of public conversation. In early photographs and film appearances from the 1980s, The Outsiders in 1983, Risky Business that same year, Cruise's teeth were notably misaligned. His front incisor sat almost directly in the center of his face, centered under his nose, rather than positioned symmetrically between 2 teeth. Dental professionals, commenting publicly over the years, described this as a midline discrepancy, a condition where the center line of the upper teeth does not match the center line of the face. It is not dangerous or painful, but on a face reproduced at theatrical scale, it becomes difficult to miss. The condition became known informally online as the middle tooth phenomenon, a phrase that generated considerable internet interest when fans began examining still photographs side by side. By the time the discussion went viral, Cruise had long since addressed the issue. In 2002, at the age of 39, he appeared at the premiere of Minority Report wearing ceramic braces, not metal, but tooth-colored brackets made to be as discreet as possible. The choice was unusual enough that it generated significant coverage. A Hollywood leading man in his 40s, choosing to go through orthodontic treatment in full public view. He wore the braces for approximately a year. Following alignment, the transformation was completed with porcelain veneers to correct the remaining issues of shape, surface texture, and shade. The result was the bright, symmetrical smile that has characterized his public appearances since the mid-2000s. His journey required orthodontics, veneers, whitening, and ongoing maintenance. The work was technically successful, but the natural midline asymmetry that defined his face for the first 20 years of his career was never fully corrected. It was managed and refined, but in close photographs today, the slight offset remains. Next is a case where the outcome was very different, not a managed asymmetry, but a full public collapse at the worst possible moment. Number 9, Chrissy Teigen, the temporary crown that ended up on her plate. Chrissy Teigen became one of the most prominent media personalities in the United States through a combination of modeling, television hosting, cookbook authorship, and a social media presence built around candor and humor. She has been consistently open about cosmetic procedures she has undergone, including publicly discussing breast implants that she later had removed, making her one of the more transparent public figures in the celebrity landscape when it comes to the gap between curated image and actual reality. Her dental work has had its own chapter of public difficulty. Teigen underwent full coverage crown veneers, a process in which the entire visible surface of a tooth is capped rather than just the front surface, as part of a smile enhancement procedure. The results, in photographs from the mid-2010s and onward, show a noticeably brighter and more uniform smile than her earlier natural teeth. In 2014, the complications became public in a specific and memorable way. While filming an episode of the travel food show, The Getaway in Thailand, Teigen was eating food as part of the program when the temporary bonding on her teeth landed on her plate. The incident was not subtle. It happened on camera, in front of a production crew, during a meal. She described the experience with the same humor she brings to most things. But the underlying reality of temporary dental work failing mid-shoot raised questions about the durability and practicality of extensive cosmetic dental procedures. Teigen later worked with a dental professional to address the underlying issues more permanently, and her smile in current photographs appears stable. But the 2014 incident captured something that the glamorous before and after presentation of Veneers rarely shows: the maintenance burden. the fragility of temporary phases, and the gap between the polished result and the complicated process that produces it. The next entry involves a British public figure whose relationship with cosmetic dentistry became a prolonged, expensive, and deeply public ordeal. Number 8. Katie Price, the cycle that wouldn't end. Katie Price began her career as a model in the United Kingdom in the mid-1990s and became one of the most recognizable tabloid figures in British public life over the following 3 decades. Her relationship with cosmetic procedures, including multiple surgeries across various parts of her body, has been a running thread in media coverage of her life, and her dental journey tracks closely alongside it. Price has had cosmetic dental work done on multiple occasions across multiple countries, beginning in the early period of her modeling career. Her initial veneer work was done in Spain, reportedly costing approximately £25,000 at the time. The procedure closed gaps between her front teeth and produced the bright, symmetrical look that became part of her public image. But the story did not stop there. The fundamental problem with veneers is that they are not permanent, and the teeth beneath them, which have been reduced by the preparation process, cannot function independently again without some form of covering. When Price's first set of veneers aged and needed replacement, she went to Turkey for a second major procedure in 2017. When the Turkish work needed addressing again, she returned for a complete dental reconstruction in 2020. By that point, years of repeated procedures had left her natural teeth too weakened to support standard veneers. Dentists instead reduced her teeth to small, uniform stubs, a preparation process required for full crown coverage, and capped every tooth in her mouth with zirconia crowns. She documented this process on YouTube, and the footage of her natural teeth reduced to pointed stubs before the crowns were fitted generated significant public reaction and wide media coverage. In 2023, during a live video chat session, one of her dental crowns came loose while she was on camera. She removed it herself, held it up for the audience, and had it reattached afterward. She reportedly spent more than £100,000 on her teeth in total across multiple procedures and repairs, not including additional maintenance costs. Her dental journey is one of the clearest public examples of what dental professionals sometimes call the veneers cycle, an initial procedure that requires replacement, which requires more removal of natural tooth structure, which weakens the remaining teeth further, which requires more invasive replacement procedures in an escalating progression that is difficult to exit once begun. Coming up next is a man whose over-the-top dental transformation became one of the most widely discussed cosmetic cautionary tales in the entertainment industry. Number 7. Simon Cowell, the teeth that launched 1,000 comments. Simon Cowell built one of the most successful careers in the entertainment industry as a music executive and then as a television judge, serving on shows including American Idol, The X Factor, and America's Got Talent across multiple decades. He became, in the process, one of the most photographed men in British and American entertainment, a status that appears to have influenced his approach to cosmetic dentistry in ways that did not always serve him well. In 2019, at the premiere of America's Got Talent, Cowell appeared with a dramatically altered smile. His teeth were uniformly square, extremely opaque white, the kind of white that has no hint of the natural gradation and translucency that real enamel possesses, and perfectly aligned in a way that created a uniformity no natural set of teeth achieves. The overall effect was immediately commented on publicly. A Guardian opinion piece compared the result to a wind-up joke shop set from a Christmas stocking. A poll conducted by a British newspaper found that nearly 3/4 of respondents felt the teeth looked artificial. Online commentary described them as blinding and Simpson-y. Cowell himself acknowledged being aware of the reaction. In 2020, he returned to a cosmetic dentist and had all 28 upper and lower teeth replaced with a new set, specifically requesting a less extreme result. The new veneers were whiter than natural teeth, but with a translucent quality rather than the opaque brilliance of the 2019 set. Small natural gaps called embrasures, the spaces between teeth that natural teeth have, were reintroduced. The size of individual teeth was varied to match a natural distribution rather than the uniform squares of the first set. The 2020 result was widely agreed to be a significant improvement, but the story of the 2019 veneers became a template in online discussions about cosmetic dental work gone wrong, an example of what happens when the pursuit of maximum whiteness and maximum uniformity produces a result that looks, to most observers, like teeth that could not belong to a human face. In May 2025, a viral clip of Cowell on Instagram restarted commentary about his teeth looking artificial. One viewer wrote that they looked so white they seemed off-putting. Another said he appeared to have someone else's teeth. The conversation continued even years after his corrective work. The next case involves a woman whose dental experience caused 2.5 years of continuous physical pain, and whose story became one of the most documented veneer disasters in the music industry. Number 6. LeAnn Rimes, 29 surgeries and a concert stage collapse. LeAnn Rimes released her first major single, Blue, in 1996 at the age of 13, becoming one of the youngest performers in country music history to have a #1 record on the adult contemporary charts. She won 2 Grammy Awards before she was old enough to vote. Her voice and her career made her a household name across the United States and internationally for decades. Her dental story is one of the most extensively documented cases of cosmetic dentistry causing long-term physical harm to a performer. When Rimes was 16 years old, she had her first set of veneers placed. When those veneers were later redone by a different dentist, the work was not bonded correctly, a technical failure in the adhesive process that attaches veneers to the prepared tooth surfaces. The result was not just aesthetic imperfection. It was physical damage that cascaded over the following years into a cycle requiring repeated interventions. In 2013, Rimes filed a dental malpractice lawsuit against her former dentist, citing chronic pain and medical complications resulting from the failed veneer work. By the time the lawsuit was filed, she had already undergone multiple oral surgeries and root canals in attempts to address the damage caused by the original poorly bonded procedure. She later discussed the period publicly, describing her face during those years as noticeably swollen in photographs and saying she had been in chronic pain for approximately 2.5 years. The total number of dental surgeries Rimes has undergone due to the original botched procedure reached 29 by the time of her concert incident in June 2025. That incident occurred on June 20th, 2025, at the Skagit Casino Resort in Washington State, during a performance of her 1996 hit One Way Ticket. Mid-song, she felt something pop in her mouth. Her front dental bridge had come loose. She ran to the side of the stage, pressed it back into position, and returned to continue singing. For the rest of the show, she was pressing her teeth back into place between lyrics. During Can't Fight the Moonlight, the bridge fell out completely. She completed the concert anyway. In an Instagram video the next day, she described the incident with dark humor and warned the front row of her next show to be prepared. The full scale of what a poor bonding decision made on a teenager eventually produced: 29 surgeries, a malpractice lawsuit, 2.5 years of chronic daily pain, and a bridge falling out mid-performance at the age of 42. The next case is the opposite in almost every way. A young woman who underwent a procedure that caused no pain, produced an aesthetically acceptable result, and still describes it as one of the decisions she most regrets. Number 5. Alex Earl, 10 veneers, immediate regret, and the honesty no one expected. Alex Earl became one of the most watched personalities on TikTok beginning in 2022, building an audience in the tens of millions through a combination of Get Ready With Me videos, candid life commentary, and a personality that felt genuinely unfiltered in a space full of performed authenticity. Her appeal was built directly on the perception, confirmed repeatedly through specific revelations, that she would say what other people in her position would not. She had never had braces. During her senior year of high school, she used Invisalign to straighten her teeth. The treatment left 2 front teeth shorter than the rest. She had composite bonding applied to extend them, a non-permanent, less invasive treatment. Because she sometimes clenched her teeth at night, the composite extensions would occasionally crack off. During her senior year of college, as her TikTok following exploded, she decided to fix the cracking composite with something permanent. She intended to get 2 veneers, 1 on each affected tooth. A dentist persuaded her to get 10. On July 2nd, 2025, Earl posted a TikTok disclosing both the veneers and her immediate regret. She had kept it private, she explained, because she felt the regret so strongly that she could not promote it to her audience. Holding back tears, she described the moment of realizing she had permanently altered 10 teeth when she needed to address 2, and that she would need to maintain and replace those 10 veneers for the rest of her life. She said the decision was made fast, that she did not talk to enough people first, and that she had such good teeth that she still did not understand why she had agreed to it. In January 2026, she posted a TikTok joking that her teeth glowed in the dark in a dark club, giving her away. The humor landed, but an irreversible alteration to 10 healthy teeth remained, what she has described as her most significant personal regret. The next case involves an influencer and content creator whose relationship with his teeth generated one of the most widely discussed online debates of 2025. Number 4, Mr. Beast, healthy teeth, gone forever. Jimmy Donaldson, known worldwide as Mr. Beast, became the most subscribed individual creator on YouTube by the mid-2020s, with a channel following that exceeded 400 million subscribers. His content, elaborate challenge videos, large-scale philanthropic stunts, and viral productions built around spectacle and generosity, made his face one of the most recognizable on the internet. His teeth became a subject of sustained online debate in the summer of 2025, when viewers began noticing that his smile looked noticeably different across videos and public appearances. A YouTube video titled "Mr. Beast's Teeth Perplex Me," uploaded by a content creator named PayMoneyWubby in July 2025, gathered more than 13 million views within weeks. The clip analyzed footage from multiple Mr. Beast videos and pointed to what appeared to be his teeth looking different from shot to shot within the same production, sometimes showing his earlier, more natural smile, sometimes displaying a considerably whiter and more uniform set. The online phenomenon was quickly dubbed Teethgate. Dental professionals and commentators analyzed photographs from his career and presented conclusions that his natural teeth, described in those analyses as healthy, strong, and distinctly his own in a way that connected with audiences, appeared to have been replaced with porcelain veneers sometime between 2018 and 2020. What made the discussion particularly pointed was the consistent conclusion in most professional commentary. His natural teeth had not required fixing. The alteration appeared to be purely cosmetic, a choice to pursue a more uniform, whiter, camera-ready look when the underlying dental health was fine. Porcelain veneers require the permanent removal of a layer of tooth enamel. Once that enamel is removed, it cannot grow back. The teeth underneath are permanently dependent on some form of covering for the rest of the person's life, requiring replacement procedures every 10 to 15 years. Mr. Beast has not issued a formal public statement confirming or denying veneers, but the volume of his audience, the range of professionals who commented on the visible changes in his smile, and the sustained public discussion made his case one of the most high-profile examples in 2025 of a broader cultural concern about young, healthy people electively and permanently altering natural teeth for cosmetic purposes. The next entry is a case where the criticism was public, sustained, and eventually heard, leading to a corrective procedure that became its own media event. Number 3, Kylie Jenner. Ultra white, ultra obvious. Kylie Jenner grew up in front of cameras as a member of the Kardashian-Jenner family, the subjects of a reality television franchise that began in 2007. She was 10 years old when the show started. By the time she was in her late teens, every aspect of her appearance was the subject of public commentary, analysis, and comparison. Her lips, her skin, her body, and eventually her teeth. In photographs from her childhood and early teenage years, Jenner had a natural smile, front teeth that were slightly crooked, some gaps between teeth, and the uneven edges typical of an adolescent mouth. The transformation that followed was comprehensive. By her mid-teens, her teeth had become visibly different. The gaps closed, the crookedness resolved. The shade moved from the natural off-white of real enamel to the bright, high-contrast white that is one of the most recognizable signals of cosmetic dental work. The size and shape became uniform in a way that natural teeth rarely achieve. The result generated significant attention. Her teeth, in photographs from her mid-teens onward, display what dental professionals describe as a high-contrast, almost luminous quality. The kind of brilliance that creates a visible brightening effect around the smile in well-lit photographs. For audiences following her on social media, where images are carefully composed and lit, the effect is striking. For audiences seeing her in candid shots, the same qualities can read as artificial. Multiple dental professionals who commented publicly over the years noted that the procedure appeared to have been done at a young age, as had been the case with Jojo Siwa, and that veneers placed in the teens carry the same long-term maintenance implications. Multiple replacement procedures across a lifetime, each requiring further reduction of natural tooth structure. Jenner has not publicly confirmed the specifics of her dental work. Her transformation is nonetheless one of the most visually documented cases of early cosmetic dentistry in her generation. Coming up is a case where a genuine dental problem led to a result so extreme that online commentary persisted for years before corrective work was eventually sought. Number 2. Cristiano Ronaldo, from hockey rink to Hollywood smile. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the most decorated athletes in the history of football and one of the most recognized faces on the planet. He has also, over the course of his career, undergone one of the more dramatic dental transformations in professional sports. In photographs from his early career at Sporting CP in Lisbon and his initial seasons at Manchester United beginning in 2003, Ronaldo's natural teeth are clearly visible and visibly imperfect. His smile shows teeth that are not uniform in color or alignment. One of his front teeth was lost or damaged in his youth, an event that caused adjacent teeth to shift position over time, altering his bite and the distribution of his smile. He began orthodontic treatment at some point during his early career, using braces and later clear aligners to address the alignment issues. As his profile grew and his commercial value increased, he became one of the highest-earning athletes in the world within a decade of turning professional. The maintenance of his public image became a more formal consideration. By the time he moved to Real Madrid in 2009 and through his subsequent years at Juventus and Manchester City, porcelain veneers had been added to his dental work, producing the bright, symmetrical, high-contrast smile that appears in his commercial work, his social media presence, and every public appearance. The transformation drew attention not just for the quality of the result, but for the scale of the contrast. Side-by-side photographs of Ronaldo in his late teens and Ronaldo in his early 30s show what appears, for a moment, to be two different people. His natural smile, uneven, uniquely his, clearly the product of a real dental history, was replaced with something closer to a designed product, engineered for maximum visual impact. Dental professionals commenting on his transformation have generally rated the technical quality of the work as high. The veneers are well fitted, and the color, while very white, maintains enough gradation to avoid the artificial opacity of the worst celebrity veneer cases. But the replacement of a genuinely distinctive natural smile with a manufactured one is the note that appears consistently across assessments of his transformation. The final case on this list is the one that serves as both the most severe example of long-term consequences and the most instructive warning about what cosmetic dentistry can become when it is performed on someone with an existing, specific problem and the repairs go wrong. Number 1. Kenny Rogers, the cautionary tale that stayed with him. Kenny Rogers was one of the most commercially successful country music artists in history, with defining hits including The Gambler, Lucille, Islands in the Stream, and Lady spanning from the 1970s through the 1990s. He was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2013 and died in March 2020 at the age of 81. In the 1990s and 2000s, Rogers underwent a series of cosmetic procedures, dental work combined with plastic surgery, that collectively and dramatically altered the face his fans had known for decades. The changes were part of an effort to maintain a youthful appearance in an industry that pressures its performers across generations. The result did not produce the intended effect. The combination of surgery, particularly around his eyes and upper face, and dental work that altered the proportions of his smile, created a result that Rogers himself described publicly as something he no longer recognized as his own face. In a 2015 interview, Rogers addressed the subject of his plastic surgery and cosmetic work with directness unusual for a public figure. He acknowledged that certain procedures, particularly around his eyelids, had produced a result he deeply regretted, and that if he could undo them, he would. He said he no longer saw himself when he looked in the mirror. He did not address the dental work with the same specificity, but the photographic record of his transformation from the 1980s through his later decades tells a complete story. His natural smile from his peak commercial years, warm, slightly uneven, characteristic, was replaced progressively with something more constructed. In photographs from his later decades, his smile sits differently in relation to his other features, the product of changes both surgical and dental that were individually defensible as maintenance, but collectively produced a face that required his fans to look twice. Rogers lived to reflect on the decisions publicly and honestly. That honesty, his willingness to say, in plain terms, that he had gone too far and could not go back, makes his case one of the most human entries in any catalog of celebrity cosmetic work. The before and after is not just about teeth, it is about the face around them, the years behind them, and the reflection a person sees when they look in a mirror at the other end of a long list of irreversible decisions. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on more history documentaries.